Today's topic is about practicing presence. I know with some of you we have spoken about it before, but this practice is so important that it is the most important practice in combination with the self-inquiry towards reaching the full consciousness. Presence allows us to transcend the energies, to transcend our emotions, our feelings, and any energies that are within us. It is more than healing or just letting go. If for those of you who are familiar with the map of spirituality, letting go or healing emotions, it's a beginning of spirituality. But then we need to establish a right relationship with the present moment, or more precisely, with what is within you in the present moment. So any feelings, any emotions, any energies that you are aware that are inside you, in presence, it is the right relationship with yourself, with that what you feel, and with the life in general. I was guided to prepare this document because so many times I've spoken about practicing presence, but people come back again and again, and there is always something to learn about it. So this practice is basically from the beginning of spirituality right to the end, it's still the most important practice. So this is why we need to become masters at this practice. It is even more important than meditation, because there are many different kinds of meditations with different purposes. While this practice alone will do you so much that it has a great power in it. So let's go step by step, and at first I will introduce the document, and we will get to know the theoretical side of it, and then later we can do that practice in the meditation. And no matter at which level of consciousness you are, if you're a complete beginner or halfway or more advanced, you can still learn more how to do it in a right way. You can still learn more because every moment is quite different. Every moment is new. Every moment there is different energy passing through you. There are hundreds of different feelings that you can feel. There are hundreds of different emotions that can pass through you. And there are thousands of different energies that you can become aware that are passing through your chakras, through your energy centers. So let's go step by step and review this document. Practicing presence, the most important practice, together with self-inquiry for reaching the full consciousness. So, in terms of map of spirituality, as you can see, presence on the right side is equated to the level of 600, which is already advanced spirituality. But we need to build up the strength to reach that place. We need to learn many ways and many techniques and many energy openings to reach that stage. Practicing presence will allow you to already start preparing the soil, preparing the foundation for advanced spirituality. So before that, You can see the level of acceptance, which is a very common place of learning to let go of emotions, of any stuck feelings or energies. Then we open up to inner wisdom, inner love, oneness. So we'll learn a lot more about our emotions, feelings, energies. And with so many people, I've seen that presence is important to start learning as early as possible. The earlier you start to practice, the better you will be. If you suddenly jump up in consciousness without learning to practice presence, then you will have to learn it at that stage, and there will be a huge ups and downs, yes? And these might be challenging times if you make a fast change without preparation. So this is why it's really important to lay foundation, to prepare the soil. So let's come and see the theoretical part. So the first step, there are 10 steps, yes? As a first step is you begin by stepping into a light meditation. So whichever way works for you, there are many ways how you can step into a light meditation. The best way for presence is to actually sit down without any movement and to find a comfortable position where you will have more focus, more concentration. As a second step, you can notice your breath and the space around it. And as I mentioned before, we will practice it together, yes? So noticing your breath allows you to go into deeper meditation, and automatically it reduces the thoughts in your mind. Many times people ask, how do I stop my mind from thinking? Just by changing your focus. If you change your focus to your breath, your thoughts will automatically reduce. This is a little secret, because people try to fight their thoughts, they try to change their thoughts, they try to block their thoughts, they try to do many things. But the secret is just by changing your focus, right away your thoughts will reduce by themselves. The third step is step behind yourself and observe what is happening in front of you or inside you. So as you are already in a light meditation, as you're already feeling your breath, then you step back behind yourself. That is known as a higher self. It is a practice of the higher self to observe yourself with a little bit of detachment, so that you're not anymore caught up with your thoughts, emotions, or feelings. So you step behind yourself and you detach from what is in front of you or inside you. The fourth step, important, identify what are you feeling now. Even as I'm speaking right now, you can start sensing, what are you feeling now? And it's really important to stress, to identify the feeling. What are you feeling now? If you feel a certain emotion, recognize what kind of emotion is that. If there is a certain energy in one of your chakras, try to identify what kind of energy is that. So it's really important to identify and to recognize. If you need a bit of time, you can spend in meditation a little bit of time to observe yourself until you will clearly see what you are feeling now. So this is really, really important, because that then enables you to step into presence. Without identification, without knowing what you're feeling now, you can't proceed further, because you will either continue thinking, or you will either feel some places blocked, but you will not know what to do next. So as you go through the steps, as you observe yourself, give a bit of time to identify what is your main feeling in this moment. The fifth step is stay with that feeling. Don't move. Stay with that feeling. Don't let your mind to jump to another thing. Stay with that feeling, because that is the root. That is the most important moment to stay with it, to be with it, to continue further. Sixth step, hold that feeling with gentleness and softness. So for example, if you meditate and if you feel that there is a feeling of sadness or anger or frustration, for example, stay with that feeling and then hold that feeling in front of you. You can even imagine that you're holding it in your arms with gentleness and softness. So you don't try to block it, you don't try to get rid of it, you don't try to change it in some sort of way. No, you just hold it with gentleness and softness. As a seventh step, you breathe. You can even breathe around that feeling. As you recognize, for example, when sadness is here, you can feel it inside you and imagine it's like a bubble and you're holding it. So you're holding it, you're staying with it, and you're even breathing around that feeling of sadness. You can already see that there's already a lot of work happening with it. The previous practices of letting go, just get rid of it, just do this and that, they're very primitive practices. You just get rid of it for a moment, but you don't really heal it. You let go for a moment, you feel better, but you don't really heal it. You're not really present with it. So stay with it, hold it, breathe around it. As you breathe around it, you will find that there is more space. You can actually breathe. It's not so heavy after all. If you have a big resistance or frustration or anger, suddenly you will find that it's a lot easier to hold that feeling. You're no longer subject to it. Now you're becoming present with it. So step number 8, give time to be with that feeling. Give time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, even half an hour if you need it. Because by holding it, being with it, giving time to it, you are shining the light of your consciousness to that feeling, emotion, or energy. You are like the sun, which is shining the light on the flower. And at first, that emotion or feeling is covered. It's only sadness, it's only anger. But as you're with it, as you're present with it, as you're shining the light to it, then it starts to open. It starts to reveal its secrets. It starts to flower and blossom and reveal the lesson, the inner wisdom of why it is there, of how you can be stronger, and you heal it, because the light of your consciousness, the energy of your presence is already revealing the truth and healing that feeling, energy, emotion. So step number 9, be present with that feeling. emotion, energy, or feeling. Give as much time as you need. Step number 10, heal, allow it to shrink and to reveal its lesson. What will happen is that as the first time you will become present with anger, frustration, or sadness, or any kind of other feeling, it might be very big. But then as you are with it, as you're giving time to it, you will feel that it's becoming lighter, easier. It is that bubble is sort of shrinking. It is shrinking and becoming smaller, and you have more freedom to breathe. You feel more strength. You feel that you are now more empowered in terms of that feeling. So that energy of sadness, anger, frustration will shrink, will become smaller and smaller and smaller. And what happens that the beauty is that the next time, let's say in few days again, it comes the same feeling. What will happen that it will already be smaller. The more you're present with it, the smaller it will be. And what happens that you're healing the actual root cause of any feeling, emotion, or energy. I will repeat what I just said. You're actually healing the root cause of that feeling, emotion, or energy. So now I will translate you what I just said. So let's say there is anger. You know how many things can trigger anger for you? There can be 100 things that can make you angry. There can be 100 reasons why you can become angry. There can be thousands of situations in which you can become angry. And the power of presence is that as you're truly present with the root cause of anger, you're healing anger, the whole anger, permanently. And as you heal that energy, and when you're finished, when you completely heal that energy, you are done. You are done for the rest of your life. So this is where people come to me and they say, Mindo, when was the last, you look so peaceful, when was the last time you were angry? And I say, I can't remember really, maybe like 5, 6 years ago, because it's just done, it's finished. So if the energy of anger arises, it just blows, it just comes through me as a fresh air, and it just passes by. So it completely doesn't touch me. It completely doesn't trigger me, because my system has already attained, we could say, immunity, a complete transparency and a complete immunity. So that is a permanent way to heal any feelings, emotions, energies. And as you step into 600s, which is the consciousness of presence, according to the map of spirituality, this is where you start to permanently heal any karmic conditionings of your soul. So it's not only a temporary healing, it's not only one time letting go and feeling better, it is a permanent karmic healing in terms of your soul's existence, of all your past lives, of your present lifetime, and all your future lifetimes. So this is why practicing presence is the most important practice that you need to really learn and master. So these are 10 steps. And as you can see in the little paragraph, I wrote that every second you're fully present with what is within you, emotion, feeling, energy. Your presence strengthens and grows. It is like a seed that grows into a mighty tree. At first, it's small and lean. It needs support. Then this tree grows stronger, the trunk grows bigger, the roots go deeper. After some time, your presence grows into a mighty tree, and no wind can affect it, no storm can damage it, and no earthquake can move it. So this is how strong you can become by practicing presence. Even Jesus was speaking that you plant a mustard seed and then it grows into a mighty tree. And everywhere you see in the mystical traditions the symbology of a tree. There is the tree of life, there is the tree of souls, and in the pagan tradition and in many traditions, the tree is a symbol. And that symbol is a symbol of life and presence. That you grow stronger and stronger and in the right relationship with life. I really want you to understand fully and completely why this is the most important practice. And as you will work through the feelings, emotions, and any kind of energies, there are thousands of different vibrations. There are thousands of different energies that you will encounter. Sometimes you will encounter some very new things which we will not be familiar with, and you will say, I don't know what this feeling is. And this is where self-inquiry steps in, because self-inquiry helps you to identify. By asking the right questions, you can easily identify what feeling, what energy is within you. So many times, if I look at a person, the person doesn't know what they feel. How strange is that, thinking outside the box? The person doesn't know what is inside them. They have no clue, people have no clue what they feel. They only have identified the major feelings, anger, sadness, fear, frustration. These are the densest, the heaviest, and the most difficult feel. Well, they're difficult, but they're the heaviest. And this is why we are all very familiar with these very rough feelings. But as we go up the consciousness, the vibrations become more and more subtle. The energies become bigger and bigger. They become more and more subtle. For example, now you're not aware that there is a Wi-Fi in this room, that there are gamma rays, that there is 1,000 different kinds of cosmic energies right now in this room. Even the electromagnetic field of the earth, the solar radiation, the cosmic energies. There are 1,000 different kinds of energies right now in this room. Right now in this room, there are all 12 dimensions. Right now in this room, if you have ability, or let's say in a scientific way, the scientists would simply take an atom or an object and they would split it and they would see different layers like a cake. That any object can be split deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper until you reach the quantum field and consciousness as a foundation. And the same way, there are 12 layers, there are thousands of different vibrations on every layer. So right now, there is a huge band of energies and frequencies that are in this room. currently I would say that most of you are aware only 0.1% of reality that is now. And therefore, when you practice presence, you will go deeper and deeper and deeper, because the present moment in your awareness is a 3D reality, but then it goes into deeper dimensions, into more subtler energies, until you reach the actual source, the actual pure consciousness, the actual God, you could say, or the quantum field, which is the universal energy. So there's a great depth when I speak about the present moment. I also need to clarify that the present moment is not just look at an object which you see now. No, it is a right relationship with life, with God, with the universe, with yourself, having full awareness, full consciousness of yourself, of every single aspect of you. So there's a great depth to be discovered. And this one practice will empower you and enable you to discover and expand your awareness. So this is why it is so important. And this is why I've created so many videos and spoken so many times. And now finally this week I have composed this document, and now it's publicly available, and even this video I will release so that everyone will have access to it at any given time to know and to become familiar and to know how to practice it. Any questions? Does everybody understand what is presence? What is present moment? Or is it a bit too much to understand? It might sound also very big. It is very big. I will not simplify it. It's so big. It's so huge. But you have to start where you are now. You have to start right now with this present moment. When else is a good time to start it? Next year it's gonna be too late. In 1 year you can do so much that your life can change completely. Some people just in 1 month, in 2 months, 3 months, they change their life completely. So the best time to start is now. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So if you work on an emotion, so you think it's gone, then it comes back again.
Yes.
Do the same again and again.
Yes, and you do the same again and again and again.
And do you have to do something differently? Because if you think you've worked on it and it still comes back, or
Yes.
surprisingly it comes back.
So let's say anger as an example. So you've done your practice with presence, with anger, but then it comes back again. The energy itself will lose its power. As you're present with it, your system, your energetic system attains immunity. It kind of, your immune system recognizes this energy already. The next time it comes, you have already more awareness. Oh, anger is coming. Right there you can stop and not react to it. Not.
Is it the detachment that's key?
The detachment would be a first step to not react. This is why I wrote down is to step back and to observe, because that is detachment, just so that you have enough strength not to react to it. Non-reaction, yeah? So you have strength not to react to it and not to start externalizing it. So if you feel anger, suddenly you have awareness to recognize, I'm starting to become angry, and then you shut your mouth and then you become aware that, oh, it's right here, I don't need to speak now. And instead of reacting and making it worse, you actually start working with it. And as you're present with it, it loses its strength. Next time it comes, be sure that it will come. Next time it comes, it will already have less strength. You will already have more immunity and more strength against it. Many times I can even measure scientifically the percentage which is left of that particular energy. As you know, I make the personal charts, and I can also even measure, as we usually in the private sessions, I can measure what percentage have you worked through this energy or this karmic conditioning. So this is where you can actually feel and recognize how that energy is shrinking. And one day when you are done, it will be completely dissolved, completely gone. And obviously then that liberates you, because your consciousness becomes freed from these sandbags of conditionings. So your soul becomes freed, your consciousness expands, and therefore then you experience a shift of consciousness. Yes. So it's, you see, that practice literally becomes a way of living, because also in the personal charts I measure the percentage of your full consciousness and presence. So as you know, and I've spoken about this before, that a normal person on the street, they're only 5 to 7% present and integrated in the full consciousness. Only 5 to 7%. It means that most of the time they're not present and they're completely in their mind, in their head, or lost in the emotions. And this is where, by working with spirituality, by developing presence, that percentage grows. It reaches 10%. It's also the same equation that every person, normal person, uses only 5% of their brain. And that is true because most of the brain is not active. Most of the DNA is not active. DNA has no capability of recognizing any energies. The scientists, the primitive scientists, they call it junk DNA. But as a person opens their energy field, that DNA starts to activate, and the consciousness starts to expand, the brain starts to activate all the neuron pathways, the brain coherency establishes, and the person is able to sustain more and more presence and more consciousness. So the seemingly so-called junk DNA then becomes activated, and therefore you become aware of more and more reality. You become more and more upgraded, we could say, into the new human. And the destiny of humanity is to become enlightened humanity, or we could say the new human, the fully conscious human. So now it's a global wave, a global movement of awakening of the new humanity. And this practice is the one which helps you to awaken your energy field, your DNA. There are so many things that happen with it that I probably would need half a day to explain how everything works in precision. But I'm just giving you some hints so that you see more and more of how and why it is so important. So also, we could say you start to activate your super consciousness. Okay, so how about we do some actual practice? We will start with meditation, and during this meditation, I will guide from the very first step, and even if it's your first meditation, it's okay. And just go step by step, deeper and deeper, as deep as you can go. And then I will continue for those who are more advanced to go deeper and deeper, so that everyone, wherever you are, you can practice it and make it useful to you. So take a comfortable position. Make sure your phone is off. Okay. So now we will be returning. We will be returning from our mind, from our understanding, from our thoughts. We will be returning to the present moment. We will open that door and we will go deeper and deeper. So when you're ready, you can close your eyes and take a few moments to slow down. You can take a few gentle breaths. Connect with your breath as the air comes inside your lungs and belly. If there are any thoughts, it's okay. Just bring your attention into your breath. Just a few moments to slow down. As you are feeling your breath, you can notice the space around your breath. And when you're ready, you can slowly step back behind just to observe yourself for a few moments. Try to identify what you are feeling now. Is there a particular emotion, a particular feeling, or some energy accumulated in some area of your body? and stay there. Be with that feeling, emotion, or energy. Give it some time. Be with it. If your mind has gone somewhere else, come back to that feeling. You can breathe with it. You can breathe around that energy or feeling. Give it some time. You can notice the space around it or the openness behind it. If you feel you're falling asleep, come back and strengthen your focus. Become aware of your body, your feeling, your energy. Just being with it for a few moments, ripening, maturing, allowing it simply to be with you. Don't try to push away. Allow it to simply be with you, because you are holding it. You are the master of it. Your body is a temple for these feelings and energies. Remember always to come back and to continue being present. The more time you give, the stronger you will grow. You are retraining your mind, retraining your heart, strengthening, growing. Give it some time. what you feel, what is inside you. And strengthen your awareness, strengthen your body. Can expand your space. Feel that there is more openness, more space around it. And remember that every second you are growing, becoming stronger, even if it seems difficult. Give it some time to retrain your mind to grow and expand. You can feel your breath. If you fall asleep, can bring your attention back when you're ready. You can slowly start coming back. If you want, you can stay longer. Give a few moments to integrate the energies. And when you're ready, you can slowly start returning, coming back to your breath. Giving a few moments to reflect. And when you're ready, you can slowly start opening your eyes. One day you will grow so strong that you will be at the top of the mountain, and no matter the wind or the storm, you will be able to stay unmoving, untouched. strong in the seat of presence. Many times it is depicted as a person meditating on a mountaintop. But what that means is there's a great strength of stillness. There is a great strength of staying deeply within, regardless of the moving clouds. It is depicted as a tree, the biggest tree or the tree of life. It is depicted as the lightning standing still. So even if the lightning strikes, your presence is unmoving, untouchable. It strengthens your mind, it strengthens your heart, it strengthens your spine, it strengthens your all energy centers. It strengthens your Shakti Kundalini energy. It strengthens your nervous system. And most importantly, it roots you deeper and deeper into the full consciousness. So more and more you're rooting and connecting with the source, with the full consciousness. Many small steps in the right direction will help you to return to the full consciousness. Sometimes we want big things very fast and we jump up and down. But many small steps with patience, simplicity, compassion will strengthen and allow you to fully root and integrate into the full consciousness. And today's practice was a reflection, and it was a first step. If it worked well, that's beautiful. If it was very difficult, it's okay too. It is a first step, and bit by bit you will go stronger and stronger. This is why you attain the permanent peace. This is why you attain the permanent happiness. This is why you attain permanent love, or even permanent samadhi bliss. So this path takes patience and practice, but it has huge rewards. And you can only imagine how strong you will become when you will attain the permanent peace, when the mind will no longer disturb you, when emotions will no longer drive you away. So you will return. And this is the destiny. The destiny is to return to the deepest place of presence, consciousness inside you. The destiny is not in the future. The destiny is to return into the deepest now. We only need time and future so that we return to the deepest now. let's start sharing and let's begin. And there are two things that you can do how to tackle the challenges. First part, as described in the first steps, no matter where you are, no matter how difficult you feel, you can always sit down and calm down at first. Calm down and to step into non-reaction. This is the step number first. No matter what is happening, to calm down and to step into non-reaction. Then you get the power to step into meditation. Then you get the power to step into your observation, to detach from that difficult feeling. And then you get the power to step into presence. So this we can call a crisis management. As a crisis, when you are in a challenging moment. So when you're in the challenging moment, you need to go step by step to come down, to detach, to go into meditation, and then to start to be present with these difficult feelings or difficult energies. The second part is that you can do the practice of presence when times are good, when everything is fine in your life. This is the right time to give at least 10, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour a day to practice presence. When times are good, we usually just float in the clouds and we're happy. But when the times hit hard, we're not prepared. So this is why you should prepare and you should practice presence when the times are good. Give time, even if everything is totally fine. You know, there's a saying, you should save for a rainy day. You know, so the same way you should practice presence for a rainy day. And this is how you will, when that difficult time comes, your presence will be already strong. And it will be 10 times easier to deal with the difficulties. Because instantly you will recognize, oh, non-reaction, stepping back, starting to observe, and then healing any difficult moment. So also remember these two things, how to tackle the difficulties and to save for a rainy day, or to practice for a crisis, to practice for a rainy day. Because practice makes it perfect. Practice makes it stronger. In my previous years, when I was practicing, I would spend literally every single spare second that I had, I spent it practicing presence. Even standing in a queue, even driving in the car, even speaking to someone, I was still practicing presence. Even when I was meeting friends or meeting a person, even there, as my body would engage in a conversation, I would still be in presence and I would still practice it. Practice, practice, practice. And it became a way of living until it became so perfect and so automatic that now I need to do anything and it's already fully there, 100%. And this is why no matter what occurs, even when surprises come, I'm always ready. Always, always already aware. Always ready. Even in the middle of the night, something happens, I open instantly, no panic. There is already a field of presence, awareness. So no matter what happens, always ready, always prepared. And this is how it makes it perfect. Okay, that was perfect, yes. And sometimes you will notice that there are many surface feelings. They're mixed up. Or there are many surface energies. And this is why you go step by step deeper to recognize what is the fundamental feeling. What is the major energy, the fundamental energy? And be present with that. Not at the surface of the ocean, be at the bottom of the ocean. Be at the core, at the roots. So that way you will work at the deepest level of yourself. So you felt sort of emptiness.
Yeah, and there's nothing there's nothing like, I didn't see anything this time.
You don't need to see when you practice presence. Yes.
No. Yeah, I know that. But that was just the difference from like the last 2 months.
Okay, and if you are on a zero,
Yeah.
which is, you could call it nothingness
Yeah.
or emptiness
Yeah.
or blankness, maybe it was a blank state.
Yeah, there's nothing like, when you, it's like when you're sleeping and you don't have any dreams.
Okay. Well, be there. You can be present with that too.
Yeah.
And you can recognize, oh, there is nothing, I'm in a space of nothingness.
Yeah.
And still remain there.
Yeah.
Keep your awareness there. There can be 1,000 different things.
Yeah, of course.
So it is not important to see a vision or to see some colors or to have some sort of experiences. Because in this meditation, it's important to be present with your experience. It is not about getting an experience. It is about being present with any kind of experience. Okay. Yeah. And you can strengthen the calmness. So wherever you are, this is where comes a great simplicity of this practice. We have like millions of ideas of how it's supposed to be. And the simple side of it is that you can be present with anything that is inside you. If you feel calmness, strengthen calmness, because the present moment gives you that. If you feel chaos inside you like a huge mess, be present with that, because you will sort it out. If you feel nothingness, be present with that, because you are transcending the content of your mind. So there is only one rule, just be present with what is. This is where is the great simplicity of this practice. But the complexity is that every time something different comes up. And you need to learn that. Even the complexity and simplicity. So this is why I felt that today was the right time to kind of set a stone, and to kind of declare it, that this is the master meditation, and this will be the foundation meditation. Then, obviously, as you know, there is the self-inquiry, which is very advanced practice. It comes fruitful when you reach the deepest place of presence. Then you can add self-inquiry with it. And then, obviously, there is a full consciousness transmission, which helps you to open all the doors. It helps to accelerate your growth, and with presence to gain the ground and strength. So it's like the two sides, with the full consciousness transmission you open up, and with presence you gain your ground. And this way we work at the top and at the bottom. And self-inquiry is in the middle. So these are literally the three key practices, the three key elements of my teaching.